Hey guys, and welcome to some virtual learning today. We are going to be learning a new concept today. It's not too tough, and we're going to dive right in. So I gave you these notes either Thursday or Friday of last week, and hopefully you're checking out the videos now, and one of your assignments is just to follow along and make sure that you're paying attention. So we're going to start with what's called the distributive property or expanded form, and we're left with this problem here. It says 4 times 5 minus 3, and 5 minus 3 is in parentheses. Now, I'm going to write this over here, what you would normally do. So if you had 4 and you had 5 minus 3, you would normally take 5 minus 3, which is 2, and you'd take 4 times 2, which is 8. That's how you'd normally solve this. But there's another way, and I'm going to show you it here because this is actually what you're going to see on Alex, but also I'm going to show you another way that this 4, I'm going to have you guys take out your pen or your pencil, and I want you guys to shoot 2 arrows going to both. That the 4 can multiply by the 5. And the 4 can also go to the 3. Now this can be a little confusing here, so I'm going to show you just over here that 4 times 5 minus 3 is the same thing as this, just multiplying 4 times 5 minus 4 times 3. And guess what happens? It actually gives you the same value. Now, you wouldn't normally solve it this way. We know the answer is 8, but 20 minus 12 also gives you 8. We can still solve it this way. So let's get right to it. We're going to show you guys some problems where we would use the distributive property or expanded form, the way of kind of putting it. So here we have 2 times 5 plus w. Notice how we cannot add those because those are not like terms. But what you can do is you can multiply. You can multiply because we know that 2 times 5, you can solve that plus 2 times w. We can multiply that. So 2 times 5 is 10 plus 2w. And that is what we call in simplest form this type of problem. We circle because there's no like terms here. We can't add those together, and that one's done. Let's take on example 3. And if I'm going a little fast, I only have 5 minutes on these videos, so feel free to pause, and so you can kind of catch up. So here we go. 3x plus a negative 6y. Those are not like terms. They're not like terms, so we cannot simplify that. What we can do is we can multiply, because 4 times 3x, we can simplify that. And I like to make this plus a negative here. So this is 4 times a negative 6y. The 4 goes to both, so it's going to be 4 times 3x is going to be 12x. And 4 times a negative 6 is going to be negative 24y. And then I'm going to rewrite that so we don't have plus and negative. It's the same thing as just making it minus 24y. And circle. Feel free to pause that so you can have those notes, but we're going to keep on cooking. We're going to keep on going, and we're going to take a look at this one right here. You're going to see this on your Alex assignment. What about this problem? It's just a larger distributive property. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to make this plus and negative right there. Make that a negative x. And these are not like terms. These are not like terms at all, but we can still multiply that negative 7 to all 3. That negative 7 goes to every single one. We can multiply that. Now, these are not like terms. Again, we can't add those, but we can multiply the negative 7. So that negative 7 becomes a negative 7 times negative 6w plus negative 7 times a negative x plus a negative 7 times 2. We can multiply that. That negative 7, notice how it goes to each. Now, some people want to skip this step because it looks a little confusing, but really it's just negative 7 times negative 6. So negative 7 times negative 6 is 42w because a negative times a negative is positive. Take a look here. Negative 7 times a negative x would be a 7x. And last but not least, a negative 7 times a 2 is going to give you a negative 14. Now we can write it like that, but really it's the same exact thing.